Manchester United away to Young Boys. And despite having an early lead through a Cristiano Ronaldo goal in the 13th minute, Manchester United fall 2-1. Aaron wan-bissaka sent off in the first half. After that, it was pretty much all the Swiss champions who scored twice in the second half. Their game winner comes off a Jesse Lingard error. Jordan Pefok, the young American, provides the winner for Young Boys. Craig, what a way to... I had to slip it in there somehow. I mean, it was a story of the game, after all. What a way to kind of squander the momentum of the weekend.
Even losing a man, I would expect it to still see United be stronger than they were against a team who I think are 5 games into the Swiss season, only have 8 points, sitting in 4th, so not the strongest side. And even up to that point, I think it was 38 minutes or so when he got sent off. Wasn't a brilliant performance. Yeah, Ronaldo got, surprise, got himself a goal. But 2 efforts on target in 90 minutes, albeit you lose a man, not very good, no.
That's kind of it, isn't it? I mean, they do go down a man. I guess you give them somewhat of a pass for that. But if you look player for player, if you look at these 11s, Manchester United's way better than Young Boys. They provided nothing in the second half.
No, they didn't. And obviously playing away from home, obviously playing a man down, that's going to condition what you do. What I thought was disappointing from Manchester United is that there were moments in which they could have extended the periods of possession and used that momentum that Young Boys was carrying forward to, at the very least, threaten to go on the counter. And they never really did that. There was one play in which Cristiano Ronaldo does get in behind and he gets an opportunity to try to take a shot on goal. He's complaining about a penalty. Was never a penalty, no chance. But other than that, there wasn't a real threat from Manchester United, which then freed Young Boys to really start pushing forward and really start swinging balls into the box. And eventually one of those fall the right way for them. They scored 1-1, and that's early enough in the second half to where it was always going to create issues for Manchester United. The other disappointing thing for me from Manchester United is that, yes, you just mentioned, they created momentum in the game over the weekend. And the story was Cristiano Ronaldo. And it was going to be, indeed, again, Cristiano Ronaldo. Wan-bissaka get himself thrown out. And you would have thought, okay, well, you know what? At this point, you need to then show some toughness. You got to show some character. We're going to have to grind it out. It would have been a comfortable win if Wan-bissaka had not gone thrown out of the game. That's the outlook of the game. And yet it wasn't. And then it was about grinding, and they were not able to do that.
So one of the key statistics that's coming out of this is 11 Champions League games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They've lost 7, Manchester United. That said, Frank Leboeuf, I mean, there were some critical mistakes from the players in this game. Not just Wan-bissaka getting sent off, the Jesse Lingard back pass. Manchester United's players did not help their manager out.
Of course not. But I have to say, you know, they punished themselves in a way that they scored the first goal, and then they gave up playing. They should have maybe tried to kill the game, score another goal, and maybe even with 10 against 11, they would have won the game. We saw many times, you know, where a so-called better team, even at 10 against 11, can still be comfortable and win a game, even if they are sometimes under pressure. I'm not convinced with what I saw today. I'm not convinced with some players who completely disappeared, and I think about Pogba, but also Bruno Fernandes, as soon as wan-bissaka was sent off. And I didn't see a strong team. So it would have been an easy win, 11 against 11. It became a nightmare, and some players made, of course, obvious mistakes.
Jurgen, Frank isn't convinced with what he saw from Manchester United today. You agree?
Yeah, I totally agree. Obviously, I mean, they took the lead, another Ronaldo goal. I mean, a beautiful pass by Bruno Fernandes. So it looked all good for Man United. And then came, obviously, in the second half, it came the red card, and it changed the dynamic of the game and got Young Boys really back into this game. And they started to believe. The crowd went really behind them. And when they scored the equalizer, things changed. You know, I think Young Boys just they thought, here we can actually beat Man United tonight. You know, so they gave it a go, and obviously based on an individual mistake, they get their chance. But what a moment for Jordan Pefok. I mean, a young American, he's 25 already, but holy moly, he scores that goal against Man United in the Champions League in the last minute, 95th minute. This is a big moment for Jordan, and obviously it's a big win for Young Boys Bern, who probably never expected to get 3 points right in the first game of the Champions League campaign. this season. But you can see that things are doable based on some people's errors, and you got to take advantage of it. And young boys, they took advantage of it.
I think one of the questions is, and you just mentioned the Solskjaer stats. That didn't come from any of us. That was purely dug up by someone else, not me. Are Man United good enough to go away in Champions League and leave out some key players and win? Is that an arrogance? Or do they just...
You think they overlooked young boys today?
Well, they haven't had great success in this competition in recent years. Yeah. They've had some bad results. And you've got to take care of business. Now, they beat Newcastle at the weekend, albeit they left it late. But let's be honest, Newcastle's sole purpose in life at the moment is just to survive in the Premier League, right? So don't get carried away.
And that game was level on the hour mark.
Yeah, and Newcastle had some chances. And look, Ronaldo's an exciting signing, I understand that, and he'll get goals. But are Man United and are this manager good enough in this competition, even in not the toughest group, to leave key players out and still get through? That's the key question.
Is the team good ugh and is the manager good enough for two different questions, right? Because the manager clearly has a record here of not just in the Champions League, but big game failure.
Well, I think it's a bit early in the season to be pounding them just yet. Because I think,
you're going to save yourself.
Their squad...
You got to pace yourself, yeah.
Their squad, I think, should be able to put some consistent runs together in the Premier League. Particularly now they've got the goal scorer in Ronaldo. But my question is, can you leave players out in this competition, even against not the strongest teams on paper, and still think you're guaranteed to go through?
And to that point, I would say that in the first half, and you look at player rotation, if you will, so it's Van de Beek and Fred playing alongside each other in that double pivot in the midfield. And Pogba in some sort of advanced left-sided midfield hybrid sort of something that did not affect the game in any way for Manchester United, certainly not in a positive way. And once they got the red card, then you think, okay, well, Pogba really has to take control of the midfield. He has to be the guy that gives this team an outlet because, well, he has the strength and the athleticism and then the ability to pass the ball forward and find those penetrating passes. And he was the one turning the ball over. Time and time again. They finally win possession of the ball back, give it to Pogba, and then he's supposed to be the outlet. He's the one that is going to find the pass forward. No, he's turning the ball over, and then it's pressure back on Manchester United. So in terms of the rotation, and the question that Greg is asking, well, apparently not. You can't really rotate and then change players out of position because right now this team is not quite ready to do that just yet.
Jurgen, how do you think we explain these kind of big match failures under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Is it down to the players or is it the manager?
Well, I think definitely. I mean, it's the first game in the Champions League campaign now because of the group stage situation. You know, it's a great warning. It's a warning shot for the team, for the coach, for everybody at Man United that you cannot underestimate young boys Burner, whoever you play against in the Champions League. You know, if you're not on top of your game, if you're not, as Greg said rightfully so, if you're not consistent in your mindset and on a aggression level, then you might lose a game. And so they lost it today. But I'm pretty sure that they learn out of it and they get refocused. And obviously it's all down to consistency in the Premier League. It will be a very, very interesting campaign this year with the top 4 or 5 teams and obviously in the Champions League. But I think they have the squad, they have the quality of going far in the Champions League. But they have to prove it.
Frank, the match isn't really decided, obviously, until the 5th minute of stoppage time. What is Jesse Lingard thinking when he makes that pass?
Okay.
Oh, well. Well, I've done worse than that. You know, I tried to put a header to my goalkeeper, and Alan Shearer thanked me a lot, you know, scoring the goal. So you feel awful. It can happen to anybody. It's obviously dramatic when you do that at the last second of the game in the Champions League, but it's going to be okay. You know, it's a competitive player, he's a talented player, he's going to have a bad night, that's for sure. He might have a bad week, but some people are going to remember what he did, you know, even in 20 years from now. But he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay because he's gonna play so many other games. He's gonna be all right. Hopefully
Tough thing for
him.
Lingard is.
Well, he didn't get his move to West Ham, so he thought he'll have stuff you.
I mean, and these are the opportunities, right? He's trying to prove that he belongs at Manchester United. That's not going to help.
Listen, he played really well for England the other week, but the deal is here is the group stages give you another opportunity. I can tell you about an FA Cup semi-final.
Oh. Tell us, please.
In '96, when I never got another opportunity after putting my teammates out with a mistake. So these things happen. I think the bigger picture here is that they were in that position in the first place. They lost a player to a rash challenge, and they weren't really getting the job done. So if they don't get out of this group, it would be a disaster. Because it's a reasonable group with Villarreal and Atalanta, who are a very good attacking side. But it's one when you look at some of the other groups, you think, oh, we did okay to be in this one.
So to that point, here is Group F, and right now Manchester United dead last place. Young boys sitting on top. Atalanta and Villarreal played to a 2-2 draw earlier today. Ale, do you think there's a realistic threat Manchester United could again not make it out of the Champions League group?
Well, there's a threat. Let's not forget Villarreal did beat Manchester United in the Europa League final. So it wouldn't be out of the possibilities that Manchester United struggles against Atalanta or struggles against Villarreal, because they have struggled before against Villarreal. Now, this is a different group in Manchester United, you would think. And if we're to believe that whenever Cristiano Ronaldo walks into the locker room, everybody elevates their game, and apparently now they're not eating dessert. So that's an important point to make, I suppose. The truth is that you expect better from this group. And that's why it's disappointing to start off this way. And then Manchester United, because of the momentum they had generated on the weekend, you would have thought, you know what, this is when they really establish themselves and get themselves going. And you hear Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying, you know what, no more excuses in competitions. It's about time for us to win a trophy. And then this is how you begin. It's sort of that one step forward, two steps back with Manchester United at times.
If you sign one of the best centre-halves on the planet, one of the best attacking wingers in Europe, and one of the two best players we've seen in the last 20 years, you've got no option but to get out of that group. Otherwise, you're in big trouble. So yeah, he has to, and I think they will. And as Jurgen said, I think that'll be a little actually kick up the backside to them, a little lesson today that, well, maybe we just took our eye off the ball a little bit with team selection. Can't afford to do that. Got to get the job done. Then you can think, once you're qualified or you're almost certain, you can look at resting some players, but not quite at this moment in time.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.